What's up, everybody? It's Ahmed with I Still Love Car Audio and Car Audio Tech Stuff, and today I've got some car audio for you, some Morel car audio. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing and sound demo of these. Oh man, you don't even have to see my mug for this. Look at these bad boys right here. The Morel Maximo Ultra 602 HE MK2. HE stands for high efficiency. These bad boys are 94 dB sensitive. That means they can play off of head unit power with no problem, no issue whatsoever. And that's exactly how I'm going to be running them. Penny was outside sunbathing while I'm out here working in the hot sun. Luckily, thankfully, Toyotas are easy to do installations. The door panel removal only took 2 screws, 1 door clip, and you just pull it and it comes right off. Then if you see here, I'm T-tapping into the factory wiring into the harness that I plugged in. The Morel Maximo 602 HE uses inline crossovers, one for the woofer, also one for the tweeter. You use that in conjunction, that's what the T-taps are for. You tap into that line, and that crossover in line with the tweeter keeps the tweeter playing the proper frequencies, just like the capacitor on the woofer keeps the woofer playing the proper low frequencies. When you're doing installations, please be extra careful. My drill has a guide on there. You want to make sure that you don't puncture your speaker if you don't know what you're doing. If you do, then this message is for you. And then I did a sound check to make sure that it sounds good, which I know it does, and then it's on to installing the tweeters. I use my trusty Dremel tool, but please, before you do that, always wear your goggles. I start off using the tweeter cup, and I always cut small, and then I just work my way out, because if you cut it too big, there's no going back. I'd rather cut small, do multiple cuts until I get the proper size, which I do, and then I fit the cup, and it's mounted perfectly. Once I'm satisfied with the tweeter cutout and that it's flush, I use a supplied mounting hardware to make sure that the tweeter doesn't flop around when I'm opening and closing my door. I want to make sure that it is very secure. Then after that, I take the wire with the inline tweeter, secure it under the door paneling, add a little bit of tape to make sure that that doesn't bounce around as well, and then I move on to repeat the process and do the opposite door. And now that we've seen the unboxing and installation speed through, now it's time for the part you all have been waiting for, the sound demo. I'm going to play the system like you've always been hearing it, with just the front stage and nothing in the rear. Then I'm going to fade it back because I use my head unit to power my rear field speakers, especially with these speakers being so efficient. It's going to run off my head unit power with no problem whatsoever. Then I'm going to fade my head unit back just a little bit. It's never going to be all the way faded back because that throws off the balance of my system. It's all a balancing act, you know, a little push and pull, but mainly you want the sound in the front for your front stage, but you don't want to neglect the people that's sitting in the back. And also having rear fill widens your stage. It fills the car. That's what it's supposed to do. It fills the car with sound. So I'm going to give you a demo of a familiar song that I play, YouTube DRM free music, but I'm going to play the system with just the front stage like you're used to hearing it. Then I'm going to fade the head unit back to play the rear and see if you can notice a difference. Then I'm going to sit in the back seat and turn the front completely off just so you can hear the back seat rear speakers playing for the passengers, for the rear fill, and I want you to hear how they sound off my head unit, which is running flat. That's how good these speakers sound, flat. I'm going to run them flat just so you can hear them as a rear fill. And also, the benefit of having the rear fill is it's not just front stage only and rear sub, even though mine's is time aligned. What about the people sitting in the back? They only get the rear sub and some of the front stage, but with those rear fill speakers back there, now they get to hear the front stage being pulled to the back with them in conjunction with the sub, so they get the full benefit of a full surround sound type system like I have in the front, in the back. So here we go with just the front stage only.
From your place, kiss your lips, but I hate the taste. No fun in this game. I will call our bluff, 'cause using bodies isn't good enough. Slow down, this ain't love. Well, we fell apart just in time. Ooh, you said at least it was worth the try. At least it was worth the try. At least it was worth the try.
Now I'm going to fade the head unit back a little bit. I found that it doesn't sound good when it's perfectly centered, but when I have the head unit between, well, you saw right there all the way forward, it's at 25. If I dial it back to 16, that's my sweet spot. And then with a little bit of balancing act, I turn my front stage up just a hair. I have my controller, my DSP controller, and I turn the front stage up just a hair. That way it keeps my sound stage present up front mostly, but I can still hear the back, and it fills the whole car. It completely widens the sound stage. So I'm going to go ahead and play it now with the head unit faded back to 16 off of head unit power, running the rear field speakers in conjunction with the front, and let me know if you guys can tell a difference. It's completely wider, completely different in here, and it completely fills the car. Hopefully you can hear it the way I hear it.
We keep playing games, can't go separate ways, break up all the same. We keep playing games, can't go separate ways, break up all the same. Well, we fell apart just in time. Ooh, you say at least it was worth the try. At least it was worth the try. At least it was worth the try.
Okay, now I'm going to jump in the back seat. I'm going to turn my front stage completely off, leave the camera here. I'm going to sit back there, and that way you guys get to hear the rear speakers by themselves. And remember, they're flat on my head unit. I want you to hear how clean they sound even running flat. But it's just going to be off of head unit power, fade it forward just a little bit at the volume that I normally play it at. I want you guys to take a listen and see what it sounds like to sit in my back seat. Then I'll turn the front stage back up as well, sitting in the back seat. That way you can hear it all in conjunction all together.
But we fell apart just in time. You said at least it was worth the try. At least it was worth the try. At least it was worth the try. I drive. Ooh, you said at least it was worth the try. At least it was worth the try. At least it was worth the try.
So there you have it, you guys. I hope you heard a difference in between just the front stage and it faded a little bit back to have some of the rear field in conjunction with the front stage altogether. I hope it's a wider field for you guys. I hope it made it sound like the car is fuller. It definitely sounds that way to me, and it sounds really good. And more importantly, I hope you got to hear how good those Maximo speakers sounded running flat. Just think if I EQ them, if you use them in your car in your front stage, depending on how your system is built, and you EQ them, they'll sound that much better. But they sound that good just running flat. That just shows how good of a quality this speaker is. So if you liked it, let me know. If not, let me know. We'll talk about it. But I think it sounds really good, and I hope you feel the same. I hope you like the unboxing, the installation video, and more importantly, the sound cue demo. If you want to get a set for yourself or other Morel speakers, go on Instagram, reach out to Morel_America, and they'll send you in the right direction. And until next time, stay tuned.